Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's around 10 o'clock on September 14th, 2018. And it's no longer a hurricane, but it's causing lots of problems because it's moving so slow. So Florence is now a tropical storm. So here we go. So Florence is now a tropical storm, but the maximum sustained wind 70 miles an hour. It is a minimum central pressure 975 millibars, and its movement is west at 3 miles an hour. That's right, 3 miles an hour. That is crazy. So here we go. And its movement is just crawling, and this is the problem, that it is just crawling. And so we're going to read the latest public advisory here. Florence's center moves into extreme eastern South Carolina, life-threatening storm surges and strong winds to continue, and catastrophic freshwater flooding expected over portions of North and South Carolina. All right, so as of 8 p.m., the center of Tropical Storm Florence was located by NOAA Doppler radar near latitude 33.9 north, longitude 78.8 west. Florence is moving toward the west near 3 miles an hour. A slow westward to southwestward motion is expected through Saturday. On the forecast track, the center of Florence will move further inland across extreme eastern South Carolina tonight and Saturday. Florence will then gradually move northward across the western Carolinas and the central Appalachian Mountains early next week. Maximum sustained winds are near 70 miles an hour with higher gusts. Gradual weakening is expected tonight. Significant weakening is forecast over the weekend and into early next week while Florence moves further inland. Tropical storm force winds extend outward out to 175 miles from the center. And within the past hour or two, a sustained wind of 55 miles an hour and a gust to 68 miles an hour were reported at the National Ocean Service Station at Johnny Mercer Pier in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. The estimated minimum central pressure based on nearby service observations is 975 millibars or 28.79 inches. So, unfortunately, we have lost the observation for Wilmington Airport. It was reporting, and it just went out now. So I guess they've run out of emergency power, or their power finally went out. They don't have a backup power source, but therefore we can't get any more observation. But you can see they're still dealing with some pretty rough conditions south. The last observation had a wind at southeast at 31, gusting to 52. So if we go to the Weather Service office here in Wilmington, we're going to look at the radar and see where this thing is, because you can see that it's barely moving. So here, well, it looks like the radar went down. Let's see if we have radar for this site. Okay, we do. I'm going to try the other site for Intellicast. See if we can get the radar off that, because this is not going to work right. It doesn't really even show the storm. So this is not working. And so let me go to Intellicast. Give me a second. All right, so I'm loading the radar now for this area. It looks like, luckily, I'm able to get some radar from this site. So Wilmington has been stuck in these heavy bands. You got to feel bad for the people here. Morehead City, Jacksonville, New Bern, Goldsboro, they've been stuck in this heavy rain for hours. And I'm just really curious to how much rain has really fallen there, because it's got to be at least 2 feet, which is insane. I mean, we usually talk, when we talk about feet, we're usually doing it in terms of snowfall. This is rainfall. And look at this thing. It's not even moving. It's just sitting here. And what's so bad about this, even though it's not even a hurricane now, it's still causing destruction because it's moving so slow. It's barely moving at all, and it's still close enough to the ocean to get energy. You could see these feeder bands just coming off the ocean, which is plenty warm enough and bringing in plenty of energy and thunderstorms into this area. And there's also there's been tornado warnings with this too as well. So that's also something that's been going on as well. So I wanted to show you the radar to show you. We can get a little closer here at some of these bands, and you can see these areas here are just getting pummeled. Morehead City, Jacksonville, New Bern. Looks like it's south of New Bern now. New Bern has been dealing with catastrophic flooding from the rain, the constant wind. We have this constant easterly wind that's basically not letting the river it's a tidal river, so it's not letting it flow out to sea like it normally does. So it's backing up, causing the flooding. You have that on top of all the heavy rain. So it's such a disaster for this area. Wilmington's had a lot of. Wilmington is probably starting to get into the flooding rains too. That's going to be the main problem with this storm now. The winds are coming down a little bit, and the winds are still going to cause damage. But it's mainly the rain, because this thing is just sitting and dumping just tons and tons of rain on top of the same areas over and over again for hours and hours and hours. And this is what makes it so dangerous. Well, I finally found some rainfall totals, and sure enough, this is what they are. So I'm going to read this from the National Weather Service Wilmington's Twitter feed. National Weather Service, Morehead City has recorded the most rainfall so far, 19.40 inches. And this was 4 hours ago. So you know it's probably 24 inches. It's probably 2 feet by now, all right? And this is since 2 p.m. yesterday, all right? And the highest inland wind gust recorded was 105 miles per hour at Wilmington Airport at Fort Macon, which is west of Cape Lookout. So here is some of the information that I want to share with you here. And again, this is as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, the rainfall total. So Newport, 19.40 inches. I mean, this is rainfall, all right? This is rainfall, not snowfall, all right? You just try to wrap your head around that, all right? Northeast of Cape Fear, 17.07. Swansboro, 14.26. Intracoastal Waterway at Highway 50 and 210, 14.13 inches. Croatian Roars, 13.98 inches. Indian Beach, 12.31 inches. Emerald Isle, 11.50 inches. Sneed's Ferry, 10.89 inches. Newport, 10.75 inches. And Hawes Run, 10.09 inches. And here are some wind gusts that were recorded. Bowie, 30 miles southeast of New River Inlet, recorded a wind gust of 112 miles an hour. Fort Macon recorded a wind gust of 105 miles an hour. Wilmington International Airport recorded a wind gust of 105 miles an hour. Cape Lookout has recorded a wind gust of 97 miles an hour. Cedar Island has recorded a wind gust of 89 miles an hour. Cherry Point has recorded a wind gust of 87 miles an hour. Jacksonville has recorded a wind gust of 86 miles an hour. Frisco Woods, 80 miles an hour. Orico, 80 miles an hour. And Harkers Island, 77 miles per hour. So the flash flood warnings are in effect in these areas. Like I said, this thing is barely moving. And there's some flooding here. Here is flooding in next to the Cape Fear River in Wilmington, North Carolina. You can see the water there. I'm not going to play the video, but you can see here it intercepted the western eye wall. Lowest pressure was 958.6 MB as the eye came over. And the river, Cape Fear River in Wilmington, has reached an all-time high level of 8.27 feet, which beats the past record for Matthew, which was 8.2 inches, and Hazel. So the amount of rainfall this thing is going to dump is going to be in the record books. And here's some of the damage that occurred around the office. See some downed trees. But the flooding is going to be really bad with this, with all this rain. If we go up here, you'll see there's a flash flood emergency for Carteret, Jones, Craven, and Pamlico counties until 9 a.m. Widespread flooding is occurring. Please help us spread the word of this dangerous situation. People must evacuate. So it's really, people need to get out of these areas because the amount of rain that is falling is catastrophic. And here's a look at on the satellite of it. This was from last night. You can see it coming in. Actually, this might have been from, I don't know if this was from yesterday or today. This might actually be from today. You can see it coming in there. But you can see it's just barely moving. This thing is just sitting. It is just sitting. And this is what makes it so terrible. All right, Florence total rainfall measured at their office at 8 p.m. was 8.69 inches. And there's still plenty of rain to come. We saw the radar. It's going to be raining for hours and hours. It's going to be raining until tomorrow. And then Myrtle Beach is getting hit now with this. So this is a real major disaster. Even though the winds weren't as bad, the rain and the slow movement of this storm is actually causing it to be much worse than it normally would be. So now we're going to look at the Twitter feed for the National Weather Service in Newport, Morehead City. And You can see they're posting all these tornado warnings still ongoing with these bands, these feeder bands that just keep coming in and causing just havoc. And here we go. MHX total rainfall from Florence as of 8 p.m. I have a new number for you, 23.04 inches. And this was still 2 hours ago. So flash flood emergency is in effect for southern coastal counties of Carteret, Craven, Jones, and Pamlico as a result of this unprecedented, it's a hard word for me to say. Sorry. All right, some words I just can't say. I don't know what it is with that word. But it's just an unprecedented rainfall. This is a significant flooding situation. All right, so I'm just shocked at what I'm seeing here. So we have this flash flood emergency going on. Here's some of the storm damage here from Atlantic Beach. This is roof damage, so there has been roof damage as a result of that. And you have some stuff about power outages, and that's what we're going to look at right now. Power outages. This area is getting hit very hard with power outages. So we're going to take a look and see what was it. Wilmington's pretty much almost in a complete blackout. I mean, most of the power is out everywhere. This whole area is dealing with many power outages. Even Raleigh has quite a few power outages. 55,582. It's still not a huge percentage of all the customers, but the outages are building because this rain just keeps hitting and hitting. The ground keeps getting wetter. The tree branches come down. Power lines come down. And we're going to actually take a look at outages by county. This way we can actually see what's going on. So we actually have a total number of outages for Duke Energy. Total number of outages for Duke Energy in North Carolina is 483,719. Total is 531,146. But this is just Duke Energy. There's over 750,000 people without power in 750,000 power outages in this area, and it's probably going to go to 1 million. As a result of this storm that is just sitting here and causing so much devastation. And this is all because the jet stream is not around. There's nothing to steer things, which again is not normal. So now we're going to go and look at the models, something we haven't done in a while, and see where they take Florence. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the models here and see where they take Florence. This is the 18Z GFS, and you're going to see just how little this thing moves. So you can see it's just drifting. It is just drifting through. Now it looks like it's moving more into South Carolina, but the rains are still going to be affecting parts of North Carolina too. And this is going to go right into, let's take a look at that, into tomorrow. Still ongoing. It moves more into South Carolina, but they're still going to be dealing with these flooding rains. And look at all that rain. You see that red there? That's heavy rain. That's just pouring over the same areas for hours on end. And then it starts drifting up and starts moving toward the Appalachians and starts weakening. But there's still going to be some heavy rain there too. And then what happens, it looks like the remnants start moving toward the northeast, and we definitely get affected by some of the remnants. And then it looks like it spawns another low right here. So that's kind of interesting. And then we should have some nice weather maybe built in for us. But I'm not really, I've been following Florence. I know I want to talk a little bit about our weather because we're going to have some nice weather this weekend. So I will talk about that. But before I do that, I want to look at the amount of rainfall, 24-hour accumulated rainfall, so you could see how much rain this thing is dumping. And see this. This is another. Now, they've already gotten a foot of rain. They're going to get another foot or maybe even 2 feet of rain in some of these areas, which is insane. So if I actually go and I put this to the, well, it only, the thing is this thing maxes out at 24. It doesn't even go above 24. It doesn't even go above 24, which is crazy. So I want to go to the NAM. Let's go to the NAM and see what the NAM has, all right, with that. So we have the 0Z NAM. That we got enough of it in, I think, to... so you can see the NAM is doing the same thing here. This thing just barely moves. It just crawls. And this is why it's so... because there's no jet stream to steer things. This is not normal. That's what's not normal. And that's what makes this storm just so devastating. Because it's not moving. And again, because we don't have the jet stream, we don't have normal weather patterns in the upper atmosphere because of climate change. And I don't want to get too much into it, but this is something we're seeing more of, is hurricanes that don't move. Hurricanes usually always used to move with, a decent speed. Now they can just sit over the same area, and this is very devastating. So let's see how much rain the NAM puts down. We're going to go to total accumulated precip here. This scale only goes up to 24, so I'm going to put it through Sunday. Look at it. It only goes up to 24. All right, so these areas you see in the yellow, they're going to be getting at least another 2 feet of rain. And they've already gotten a foot of rain, and they're going to get another 2 feet of rain. So I'm going 3 feet of rain, 4 feet of rain. I mean, this is, can you imagine? Even snowstorms, 4 feet of snow would be a huge amount. Imagine rain. This is a huge amount of water that is going to result in widespread flash flooding. Many people are going to be displaced from their homes. Many people are going to be homeless. There's going to be many businesses destroyed. This is going to be a major disaster. And the rain is really what's going to be causing most of the damage with this storm. So that is the NAM, and just a devastating situation for them. I pray for the people there. I really do, because they're going to be going through a really rough time for many months to come, cleaning up from this and trying to get their lives back together. But anyway, I do want to talk about our weather, so I'm going to change the regions to the northeast, and we are going to take a look at the I'm going to actually take a look at the sky conditions. So let's go and look at total cloud fraction. This is the GFS, because guess what we're going to start seeing? What haven't we seen for the past 10 days? We haven't seen the sun. Well, we're going to finally see the sun tomorrow, because we're going to have a good amount of clear skies across the area, Long Island, maybe even Jersey. According to the GFS, we're going to have some nice clear skies, and then into Sunday too, we're going to have nice clear skies, at least over Long Island. So we have this. You see this cloud shield here. This was from Florence, and it'll start affecting our area. It'll probably start affecting parts of New Jersey Sunday afternoon, and then over our area on Monday, and that's when we're going to see the rain. And then it should clear out again by Wednesday. So we should have some nice weather getting to the Pine Barrens, hopefully. Let's take a look at the dew points. So we'll look at the humidity now. See what the dew points are going to be doing. Alright, so... Alright, here we go into tomorrow. Dew points come down a little bit. It's been a little humid today. Not too humid. It's not going to get dry, but the dew points will come down into the mid-60s. So, I mean, relatively comfortable, slightly humid, but nothing too bad. So it won't be too bad for the dew points. And tomorrow, Sunday, we'll have a little even lower dew points, probably closer to 60 degrees across Long Island. Probably still a little more humid in Jersey, but over our area, it should be dew points around 60. And the dew points will start coming back up again into the mid and upper 60s by Monday, with accompanied by the remnants of Florence. Probably we're going to have to deal with some 70-degree dew points on Tuesday, and then see the dry air coming for Wednesday. So Wednesday, we've got dry air coming. Interesting, we have dry air over Long Island, but not over New Jersey. That's kind of interesting right there. What about Thursday? Thursday, things are really, now we can really get into some nice dry air over the area, so that will be very nice. Alright, we'll now take a look at the temperatures. Alright, and temperatures should be pleasant too for the weekend. A little warm, a little more summer-like, but not terrible. So we'll go look at Saturday. Temperatures will be around 80 degrees. Maybe a little cooler on the shore, temperatures in the 70s. And we look at Sunday here, we'll have temperatures a little warmer, maybe slightly more in the low 80s in certain areas away from the water. But by the water with that easterly flow, it should be mainly in the 70s. And then we get into Monday. It's still going to be a little warm out there. Tuesday as well, a little around 80. Nothing too terrible. And then things start cooling off by Wednesday. Temperatures only in the upper 70s. And then by Thursday, a big cool down. Temperatures may only be in the low 70s. So that looks really nice. So it's some good news for our weather. At least we're going to be getting some nice weather, but unfortunately for the folks down in the Carolinas, they're just going to be dealing with hell. But anyway, that is going to conclude this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.